Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal. We are on the podcast edition, 37 edition of the Mr. Informal Podcast. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and so on, so on. I had a good one, obviously. I had some turkey, had some ham, and other barbecue good stuff. Also, went on a Black Friday and Cyber Monday shopping. And so that will be one of the topics for today, which is Black Friday and Cyber Monday shopping. Second topic is retail stores intentionally raising prices so you have to go to the store to buy it at a cheaper price. Interesting. And then the last topic for today will be Everlane, the brand that started online has a flagship store in New York, which is quite odd since they are stationed in San Francisco. And so those are the three topics for today. As you know, there are not a lot of technology topics I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about the OnePlus 5T, but it wasn't even worth talking about it. I don't even know why the internet is going buzz about it, but I don't see anything special about it. And as you know, they were also having those Amazon Echo Dot on sale. I don't even know why, but it wasn't interesting. There wasn't a lot of interesting news about technology. Actually, I do want to talk about something that I just suddenly brought up: net neutrality. So that will be the fourth topic of this podcast. And so let's get on with the podcast. So combining Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So let's talk about Black Friday first. Black Friday basically is the day after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was on Thursday, and Friday, which is the Black Friday. Basically, us humans go to the retail stores and wake up at 3 a.m. to get in line and buy all the discounted items, especially the discounted electronic items, at which everyone should be buying. You shouldn't buy clothes because clothes are not heavily discounted compared to their electronic counterparts. So, Black Friday generated $5 billion in sales. 5 billion. And then on Thanksgiving Day, it generated $2.9 billion on Thanksgiving Day. Wow, that is a lot, especially on Thanksgiving Day. I don't really care about the numbers on Black Friday because I know as the population grows, that number will also grow. But it's interesting that people are spending more and more of their money on Thanksgiving Day. It's almost as if they suddenly forgot about the tradition of Thanksgiving. To be with family, to be thankful about your life, about the world, about the food, about the kind of life you live in, because I'm sure that there's other people in the world that cannot live or don't have the means to live like you. And so that is quite interesting that a lot of people are spending more and more on Thanksgiving. But a record has been shattered on Cyber Monday. It generated $6.6 billion. That is more than Black Friday. So that tells you that more and more people are shopping online, or they are shopping online and picking it up at the store, which many retailers would prefer. And I will talk about that more later, because once you pick it up in the store, suddenly you see something, then you gotta buy it. So there are potential sales out there, things you might not even need. You suddenly buy it for no reason at all, or you just forgot about it and say, hey, I need this right now. So it does give us a lot of numbers. It also let us know that more and more people buying online. Even though they are buying online, more and more people are still buying in retail because of the doorbuster deals. something you cannot buy online. And so again, as more and more people or the population grows, these numbers are going to go up. I mean, it's just the way it goes. Not only that, many people are waiting for this time of year to buy their electronics and to buy their Christmas gifts and to buy their themselves, whether to upgrade their TVs, computers, laptops, whether it be buy some phones, also smart speakers, and also to buy surround sound speakers. Again, a lot of electronic items, and that's how I was doing it when I was doing it Black Friday 10 years ago. It's mostly electronics because they are mostly heavily discounted compared to clothing, compared to shoes, compared to other things. And this is where Cyber Monday kicks in, because I actually think Cyber Monday is the one that's actually providing more heavily discounted, because suddenly retailers or brands who don't have a brick and mortar stations can provide that sales, and they don't have to have the operating costs compared to brick and mortar. But it depends on your marketing, whichever. And so I found that interesting that Cyber Monday actually generated more sales than Black Friday at $6.6 billion. Maybe in a couple of years that number is probably going to reach in trillions. I mean, we'll see. As population grows, do not be surprised. And talking about retail stores here. So, according to multiple sources from different news outlet, Walmart actually intentionally raised their prices online to make you go to the store, because when you go to the store, it is actually cheaper compared to their online prices, because there's a reason for that. They want you to go to the store and buy it, and then you wait in line, and then suddenly you see something that you like, and then you go buy it. And that is what they want you to do. They want to generate more sales than you just buying it online. Now, if you buy it online and then do a store pickup, that's not gonna count because you're still buying online. But if you go to the store and you see that the actual store has cheaper prices online, then obviously Walmart is counting on you to buy something off the rack or something to generate more sales. Now, they're not the only ones that are guilty of this, okay? It could be Costco, or it could be Macy's, it could be JCPenney, Kohl's, it could be Best Buy. I'm pretty sure Best Buy will do it. Heck, even Target does it too. So it's not surprising that they are own focused here, because it's Walmart, and apparently Walmart have a lot of enemies. But there's no doubt that Walmart is cheap. I mean, what do you expect? They have a cheaper rate, and so people out there who wants to get the cheaper rate or get the lowest price, they will go to Walmart. Not only that, they have a better brick and mortar sales than any brick and mortar sales out there. That's why they're still surviving. And Target is not something. I mean, Target cannot beat that, because if you go to Target, they definitely have a cheaper. If you go to Target, they are definitely have more of an expensive price compared to Walmart. And here in SoCal, certainly people here don't like Walmart. But I like Walmart. So there's nothing wrong with that. But as for the topic and the subject, I think it's genius from a business standpoint. Now you can say, okay, I think that's not correct, or that's not fair, that their prices are not the same as online. Well, I could say the same thing about Best Buy. Some of the prices they have online are also higher compared to the store. Or even I'll go to the opposite. Their store prices are more expensive than their online, and I don't think that's fair. So they're not the only ones here. But from a business and marketing standpoint, I think that's pretty good, because if you want to generate more sales, why don't you go to the store, actually physically walk there, or maybe you can drive over there and walk around and get your stuff, pick it up or buy it, and then just go to the counter. It all comes down to your attitude and your discipline. If you can go to Walmart and just get the item you needed, check out, boom, go home, that's it. That's not hard to do. But if you somehow cannot resist buying something else, well, then that is your fault. That is not Walmart's fault. It's all about discipline in this case. Do you have the mental fortitude to just go to the store, buy what you need, and then go home? That's it. It's not that hard. Well, speaking of not that hard, it wasn't hard for Everlane to actually build their own flagship store now. So, Everlane started out as a startup, e-commerce, and also producing clothing, accessories, all that good stuff. And so they openly opened the doors on their flagship store that is located in 28 Prince Street, New York. And so, just like any usual retailer, they have racks, they have clothing, they are basically selling what they have online. And it took 2 years of testing out the retail chain. I think that's probably from the experience of their pop-up shop in San Francisco. And then it took 42 gallons of white paint, because it's all just white, something simple and minimal, and $155,000 of glass. Wow, they actually spent that much money on glass, but glass is not cheap, that's for sure. And they also made $25,000 of mistakes, whether it be breaking glass, whether it be suddenly wasting time, whether it be transportation and all that stuff. But here's the interesting part about this, okay? Same thing that happened with Bonobos here, okay? No matter who you are, no matter what background of the industry that you have, if you are going to sell something, if you are just going to be strictly online, there is nothing like having a store where people can just come in, try it out, feel it, have this experience of being in there. It's something that you cannot replace. There's a reason why certain brands or online brands are having pop-up store, because it's just easier. Same thing with the OnePlus company. They are selling it online, but they have pop-up shops all over the place, because if you really wanna go to get the attention of the general consumers, not just people who love going online, you just gotta have a pop-up store, or you just gotta have a retail store. You can't replace it. It's not gonna be in a while where we're gonna have cameras and then we're gonna see how the clothes fit. No, trust me on this one. There's something about just wearing the clothes and see if it fits. Actually physically wearing it, trying it out, and see if it fits you. You can't just tell based on camera, or you cannot just tell based on assistants, whether it be Google, whether it be Cortana, whether it be Alexa, whether it be Siri. It's just not the same. And you can tell that from Everlane's description here, they were planning this out all along, ever since they were starting to get big, because they knew that they had a vision. Obviously, they wanted to not just have an online presence, but also a physical presence. And by starting out in New York, they want to create a buzz, and the most effective way of doing it is being in New York. But also being in New York, you're gonna be exposed to a lot of competition, because I'm sure they're not the only brick and mortar stores, because there's a lot of retail stores in New York. And so they're gonna be exposed to competition ends, we'll see what kind of experience they will go through and what kind of lessons they will learn from this. All I can say is that if they're gonna do this, they better have a good employees, knowledgeable employees, especially with their own items, because if they don't, well then for sure they're not going to be successful. And so the last topic for today would be net neutrality. Net neutrality was put on back in 2015 to ensure that internet providers or ISP don't have anything that is considered fast lane or doesn't make a certain website be VIP. It is to make sure that anywhere you go in the internet will always have a consistent internet speed. Meaning there's not a particular website that is much faster compared to website. Meaning, if you can log on to Facebook for 1 second, then you can go to different websites and not have it be more than 5 seconds. No, it is basically to give all of the internet at a consistent speed, also in a high speed, and no fast lanes is what they consider. Now, it is also heavily regulated, but with current FCC chairman Ajit Pai is basically saying, hey, we're still policing the ISPs and the internet providers, but we're not giving them the current restriction. We're just basically lightening the restriction. But many opponents of net neutrality basically is saying, no, that's a lie. If you do that, the ISPs are going to take advantage of that and going to find the loopholes. And so multiple articles, I'm sure you've seen it even on TVs and so. As of Sunday afternoon, 750,000 people have called Congress since Pai announced his plan in regards to the net neutrality. And so as of this week, they're also going to, actually not this week, but the FCC votes is going to happen this month, and hopefully it does not pass. So if you want your internet to be free of these VIP, these fast lanes, one website cannot have a higher speed than the other, then you gotta vote against this. I think that in any regulation you see, whether it be factory regulations, when it comes to pollutants, it has to be heavily regulated, because if it's not heavily regulated, someone's gonna get paid off behind the scenes, under the table type cash, and it's gonna be taken advantage of. And I cannot believe that this is happening for me, because internet was not invented by the government. It was basically invented by people who thought that sharing and also being connected to a different world was great. And by doing this, you're suddenly limiting the access of doing that. And the internet have always been an advantage, have always been useful. And now I know there are bad things about the internet, but you always gotta protect yourself. Even if you go outside, you gotta protect yourself. You gotta be careful driving. You gotta look out for yourself. I mean, it's the same thing. And so AT&T is saying right now that it intends to operate its network the same way AT&T operate its network today, in an open and transparent manner. We will not block websites, and we will not throttle or degrade the internet traffic based on content. And we will not unfairly discriminate in our treatment of internet traffic. Bob Quinn, AT&T head of regulatory affairs. I doubt that. I mean, we've seen AT&T do some shady stuff, and I'm not gonna believe until I see it in person. And so hopefully you read up on net neutrality, get some research, do some information, and decide. Because I think that this is quite important to the future of the internet, to the future of access and share information. And if this thing goes down, don't be surprised if suddenly you found loopholes, or your internet prices goes up, or maybe certain website are suddenly slowed down. So just make sure that you are well informed about this topic. And so that basically concludes the Mr. Informal Podcast 37 edition. I hope you learned something, and hopefully just let me know down in the comments below if you want me to talk about certain things, current topics, current subjects, and what's happening with the world in the fashion and technology. And so I will see you in the next podcast. This is Mr. Informal signing out. Bye-bye.